Hello everybody and welcome back. The first thing that I have to tell you is you're probably wondering what I'm doing in Arathi Highlands at Refuge Point. I will let you know, but first I want to tell you, for those of you, no, this isn't a wrong video. We're still looking at the High Elven Mod, or the High Elf Mod. But I wanted to show you something that I've been working on, because I've been working on a couple of different things for the server, mob-wise, pathing, sort of the technical things that are going on. So Refuge Point is a flight path, obviously, and it is well, look at that bouncing fella over there. Is a flight path, and I have modified this area a little bit. The reason is you have the flight master here, Mr. Cedric Prose, show me where I can fly. Ideally, I would have actually integrated a flight point directly to Quelimon, but that's not possible. So the next best thing, of course, is to have a Sky Master, and he'll ask you where you want to go, and you go, take me to Quelimon. Are you sure? Accept. And boom. So we are brought to Quelimon. Likewise, we can teleport back to Refuge Point. But I wanted to show you that, because it's a teleporter. Yes, it's a simple teleporter. It would have been better to actually have a flight path fly you all the way here. Unfortunately, that's outside of my grasp. So here we are. I've continued doing some work generally throughout the entire land, tweaking certain things, tweaking terrain a bit, bringing up some elevations, fixing some texturing. There's a lot of textures that, you know, I'm obviously not happy with, but, you know, it's a work in progress, what we do. Okay, so there have been some other changes that some are minor. Some are, you'll see there's obviously more details on the tower. I'm really happy with the way it looks like right now. I went to Silvermoon and I took a look at some of how their towers were aligned and whatnot. So I took some notes out of that, and I think it's going great. I also changed this area, which I didn't like before, now seems quite apropos of alchemy. So yeah, so it's been little things like that, obviously making sure that some NPCs are actually working properly. What else? Not much. We have some of the guard NPCs out here. We're actually lucky here, because we're actually getting to see some of the violence happen right there. There we go. We've got some fighting going on. So yeah, it's minor things along that nature. I still haven't touched gone through a second pass of the Troll Woods. I need to make sure to do that after I'm sort of like satisfied with my first pass of this area. Or of the High Elven area. So there's things there. I modified terrain. I smoothed out some elements. I've moved a couple of things around, and we're now going to go down there and take a look at what's down here, which is Sunspear Port. And this area, of course, is known as the Elven Pass. Actually not sure. Oh, it might not actually... Huh. Okay. Well, I remembered this actually having a separate name, but that's fine. So the path is winding. It's a lot more cleaned up, and we've got some of these barriers on it. The steep areas of... Oh, and you can obviously look down there to the city. The steeper areas of this... I decided to put these rocks in because I think they add this sort of rugged step feel to them, because the terrain is quite inclined. But yeah. Oh, sadly it seems to be getting a little bit foggy, which is fine. But yeah, you can see some of the details that I decided to go with. Essentially, it's just that, right? It's an area that used to be not that great in terms of details, and now I'm just, kind of really happy with the way that it looks. And there's room for improvement, as there is with everything. So, still having some issues with the water here. Water, the way the current version of Nugget that I'm using, I'm still not 100% sure how to do. I mean, it's great. You've been able to see that I've actually been able to do ponds, that I've actually been able to do the river. So it's a huge step up. We got some details. It's minor work, It's things that if you'd seen the other versions or played through, you'd notice that there's just like little elements, improved terrain, improved, details, and it's going. That's all I'm gonna say, at least for the time being. Here we have the ship, obviously. If we go up here, will this show us? Okay. Sunspear port. For whatever reason, I don't seem to be getting the messages of when we're entering these areas. That might be something to do with what I did recently on the cache side of the server. That's fine. It's not a huge deal. Same goes with this area. It's just been a lot of terrain improvement, just making sure that the hills are hills and we have everything, and we've got some of those new foliage and tree models in place. So overall, the port is looking pretty nice. I think it's nothing. It's still a bit. It's not as fancy as other areas, and I think that's on purpose because we've got farms, we've got what'll be mines, what'll be orchards, and still an idea that you get that they're rebuilding, and actually you can tell that they haven't been here for too long. They're just reestablishing. But yeah, so the lodges obviously have a lot more detail now. We've got some privacy screens and whatnot. For those of you who are asking about the little details that come from like the Night Elven, some of that comes from Blizzard itself, the way that Blizzard has chosen to depict High Elves within the Alliance. They give it this kind of interesting mixture of Night Elf without showing the moon or the crescent, things that could stand in for like general Elven fare. Here is the beacon, or the lighthouse, which ships would use, and you can see all the foliage detail there now. And yeah, so that's essentially what's going on. I would love to have... I do know how to do 3D model work, or at least I used to know how to do it for Warcraft 3. I don't know how to do it for World of Warcraft. I haven't had any official training in that. If I did, it would make my mods a lot better. But one of the things that I'm kind of sad about is that I'd kind of like an intermediate ship size between this. And originally I thought, well, maybe a modeler can just take this, upscale it, remove this, just put one flat floor like the top. We can, copy this, put it there, and then we'll just use one sail in the middle. And that would be fine. That would be everything that I would need for that particular type of ship. Anyways, we'll see. Sometimes you go across the community and you find some modelers that are actually willing to do some of that work and help you out. So yeah. Okay, so the biggest change that has occurred in this area is this building, which used to be sort of like a dwarven den, and I'd sort of left it that way because I didn't really want to bother with it too much. But I'd always wanted to put in a cave. And the reason why is because it's sort of just like a fancy mine, the way that I pictured it. So when we come in here, here we go. We've got a mine. And this is a cave. I wanted it to be large enough for me to. I'll put in mineral deposits for mining and whatnot. But it's a fairly large cave. So as we delve deeper and deeper, I think that I want an area to be, and it's probably going to start over here. And go into the deep side, which I want it to be sort of like cave trolls. So I want to have some potential quests along this area, and as well as having it be a mine as well, which I think will be a good development. Okay, yeah, I thought I was just getting lost there, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the port. Are there other things that I want to do here? Potentially I'll come back and I'll look at some of the detailing with just ground, rocks, and whatnot. But for the time being, I'm actually pretty satisfied with the way it looks. There's certain other elements that I'm going to obviously come back for the water, make sure that that's fixed and it all merges well with the rest of the ocean. Somebody asked me on Reddit whether... Oh, there's a floating element. I need to take care of that. Somebody asked me on Reddit if I would consider making a sunken part of the port, sort of like a ruin underwater. It's an interesting thought. I am already using some pretty empty ADTs, which could actually be suitable for that. It could be a potential questing subzone. Haven't really thought about it. The problem is, and I'm assuming that's most likely the case, past a certain point in the water, you're going to start drowning, and there's really not much I can do about that. That is sort of one of the limiting factors for me to actually be able to put additional islands on the main world map. Is there's definitely some spots out there that water-wise you could actually use, but without taking care of the drowning mechanic or the fatigue mechanic while out there, because you can be on land and the fatigue mechanic will keep on ticking away and you will die. So I could build the islands, but nobody would ever be able to stay there, because water breathing doesn't help you. It's just fatigue is something that was built into the game so that you couldn't reach the limits in the ocean. Right, so that's about it in regards to where we're at with the mod. Next week I'm going to be coming back, hopefully, and taking a look at, we're going to be taking a look at the Forest Troll area. We're look at the Forest Troll Pass. So it's part of the same Ancient Wilds zone, but it also has to do, it's a different subject altogether. And after that, well, what else? Are we going to go back to Kultiris? To my version of Kultiris? Yes, we will. I'm a little bit burnt out about Kultiris right now, so I don't want to go back immediately. I want to take a little bit of time off from that area, just like I took a little bit of time off. Still taking some time off of my Suramar area as well. That's all part of the... It's almost like a separate continent altogether in terms of what I want to do. But yeah, so we'll get to those eventually. In the meantime, I think there's a project of something that I've always wanted to do, and I think it would be cool. And I think I'm going to go ahead and actually just show you that right now. And instead of flying there, and we'll just teleport. So here we go. Okay, so here we are, and let me go back now to obviously my human form. And here we are. This is the other little project. I'm just putting it in here at the end of this video so that you guys are aware of what I'm going to be working on next. So just a quick thing. I've always wanted to restore part of Stromgarde. I won't be doing the entire city because I don't really believe in changing the core game all that much, and I don't want to undertake the entire city. But the area that is actually controlled by humans, which isn't very large, I would actually like to take a shot at. I'd like to take a shot at sort of like redesigning this area, restoring it, having them look as if they've been, you know, working busily on trying to get all of this stuff figured out. So that'll be that. So that's about it. That's about all I want to say for this week. I'll see you all next week, and until then, bye-bye.